Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome once again to Wisdom and Confessionals, our DreamOrs podcast meeting, number 9. Today is Wednesday. As you know, we always do it on a Tuesday. And how disappointing, because yesterday when I went live, at the end of 1 hour, I realized that my sound has some technical issue. So we had the video, but there's no audio coming out. So then what happens is that after an hour, and when I realized the audio wasn't recorded, and then I did another one, okay, and then I did another hour, and then I realized that that one did not record. So at the end of the day, I needed to sort of redo this podcast, and I didn't want to do it on another hour yesterday, so I decided to postpone it to Wednesday. So yeah, how disappointing it was yesterday for me. Anyway, according to the theme that we are discussing today, about how to handle disappointment. So quite apt that I had a situation like that. So maybe I can share a little bit about what happened yesterday, as I share with you about this topic on how to handle disappointment. Okay, anyway, yeah, it was a wonderful week for me. It's actually my last week here in Kuala Lumpur. For those of you who know that I'll be going back to Singapore after my 2-year stint here in Kuala Lumpur. So what you are seeing is going to be the last time that we will have this backdrop. Okay, next week when I come back online to do this Wisdom and Confessionals, it will be in Singapore. So I do not know how long it takes me to set up a new studio back in Singapore. I hope I can. So, but whatever it is, this is going to be the last time you will see this scenery, this backdrop. Yeah, it's been a journey for the past 1 month or so. Just starting this podcast and getting to know many of you, 72 of us who have subscribed, and I know 80% of the people who's listening in is not subscribed. So yeah, I just thank you everyone who these hundreds of people who support my podcast and decided to join me in this dream again revolution. Anyway, I hope today you brought your dreams, whatever that you are pursuing for yourself, for your family, for your purpose. And I hope that today's topic about how to handle disappointment is going to be very practical for you. Okay, anyway, Malaysia is also going through election. So we just had our general election last weekend. And yeah, it was the second time that I got to vote. So I went to vote and I did my part. And then I think the next morning when we woke up, after the counting, right, we realized that the situation has, because there is no one party that won the majority seats, so it's a hung government situation. So I didn't know what hung government was. When I woke up and I found out, and I realized that the hung government situation is where, as I said, no single party got the majority, and the hung government is whereby a minority government will have to be put in place. And the disadvantage of minority government is that every time the government needs to bring forward a legislation or a law in order to pass it, right? So you don't have that majority vote, for that legislation. So sometimes it's going to be hard to push because you got to have opposition people, parties that will be opposing those laws. So then when I realized what hung government is, I really thought to myself that it's not necessarily a bad thing, isn't it great? For those of you who know the Malaysian political situation, okay, we are being, it's just so infiltrated with corruption, power, and things that are not so good. If you check out the 1MDB saga where millions or billions of dollars has been siphoned out of the country for personal reasons. You know that the Malaysian political situation is not exactly the cleanest. Okay, so with that, I thought a hung government would just be right. Then why not? If there's so much power hungry people and people who are corrupt in the government, that every time something that needed to be passed, right, that is brought to the surface and people debate it, they have opposition to the ideas, and spend more time discussing and debating on something that really matters to the citizens. So I thought it's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, I hear from the flip side, people say that it's going to be very hard to make decisions and it's very hard to run a government. Okay, I'm not expert in government, but I'm always very open to new way of doing things, especially those that shake the status quo. And I believe that Malaysia is about time that something gets shaken up. The political scene get disrupted, basically, with something new, and people just come back to the basic of what a government is all about. Really corporately making a decision for the people, for the rakyat, the citizen. And I hope that whatever the situation is right now, the outcome will be something that is good for the government, for the people. Sorry. And okay, what's happening right now, because it's a hung government situation, right? And there is a possibility for the parties that all of them, the five parties, main parties that did not get majority seats, right? They can actually collaborate and form a coalition to get the numbers, the majority number, in order to form a government. So right now, after the people have voted, it's up to the leaders right now to talk among themselves, right? Who will team up with who, okay, to get the majority seats. So I thought that is some strange rule or things that is allowed, for this to happen. Because when this happens, what happens is that, the mandate of the people has been taken away. We try to vote the government in, but end of the day, who becomes government, who becomes prime minister, right, is not determined by us, but by the five top leaders. And ultimately, of course, the Agong, the king, will be the one making a decision. Anyway, they couldn't come up with a decision. So I think yesterday they announced that Anwar, the leader of Pakatan Harapan, is going to be the PM, and after that they retracted it. And the king said that he needs more time to meet with the different leaders before deciding, okay, who will be the prime minister. So I think by tomorrow, we will get the answer who becomes prime minister. Anyway, whoever becomes prime minister, I like to just stress to us, dreamers, people who take 100% responsibility for our own lives, and that although government decisions, government help is appreciated, is so good, right? But we don't depend on the government. We don't depend on handout, okay, in order for us to pursue our dreams and pursue what we feel is good for ourselves, for our family, and for our purpose. So yeah, like I say, whoever is prime minister, does it really matter, right? In Malaysia, okay, the Chinese, Indians, we are minorities, and even though sometimes government policies do not favor us because we are not Bumiputra, or we are not the natives. Okay, Bumiputra means the native of the land, but we are able to take that responsibility to carve a path for ourselves. So we say we are not necessarily a backward race. Okay, we are a race that is progressive. Many of us became businessmen, many of us became the head and not the tail. So whatever it is, I want to encourage all of us to never look at handout from a government or handout from authorities as the only means, okay, for us to be successful. Okay, we can be successful. So if we take 100% responsibility for our own lives, right? And whoever the government is, whoever the prime minister is, yeah, whatever they give us, okay, we take, okay, we appreciate, we thank them, okay, but we don't solely depend on them, okay, on those handouts itself. Okay, we can use our God-given mind, God-given heart, and God-given hands, okay, to actually go for our dreams. And it's always with that tough growth mindset attitude versus the fixed mindset attitude, right? The growth mindset attitude of always improving, be 1% better every single day. Nothing stops us, okay, from achieving our dream. So just a little bit about Malaysian politics, and yeah, we are in the midst of, you know, just waiting for who the prime minister is. Okay, whatever it is, do not be disappointed. Okay, so that's maybe one way to avoid one way to handle disappointment. Okay, is to know that, okay, everything still depends upon ourselves. Okay, anyway, today the topic is about how dreamers handle disappointment. Okay, and I just want to share with you the steps to go about handling disappointments in our lives. Okay, whatever it is, yeah. Okay, what are you drinking today? So I forgot to ask you. So in our dreamers meeting, we always hold a drink, okay, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Okay, I'm drinking green tea today. Okay, so what are you drinking? You can write down in the chat group, okay, so that we know what we are drinking as we go through this meeting. Okay, today's topic, how to handle disappointment. Okay, I'm going to share with you five ways or 5 steps. Okay, they may not be in order of how you do it, right? But there are important components of about how to handle disappointments. Okay, so a lot of us may be in a situation whereby we are disappointed. Okay, coming out of several years of lockdown, of pandemic, right? Maybe we are disappointed in our career move. Okay, maybe we have lost our job during the pandemic. Maybe we have lost loved ones. We have come in arguments or disagreements with people we love, you know, during this period. Or maybe not COVID related. Okay, or maybe recently in school we have been disappointed because, you know, we expect something to happen but it did not happen. We expect somebody to do something for us, but, you know, the person failed us, so we get disappointed. I know we often get ourselves in a situation where we feel disappointed. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, okay, is this. When we feel disappointed, okay, number one is don't do anything immediately. Okay, so the first step is really talking about don't react, okay, and try not to do anything immediately, because sometimes when you feel disappointed, right, the first course of action, you know, that comes to your mind, right, may not be the best, and you may end up doing something that you regret, something that you try to take back, and sometimes it's too late, because the feeling of disappointment usually helps us really causes, okay, to make sort of rash decisions. So it's important for us not to do anything, okay, immediately. Okay, the reason why it's so important for us to do that, to not do anything, is because of the nature of this thing called disappointment. Okay, I want to show you a picture. Okay, I forgot that I have a picture that I can put up. I learned how to do this in OBS. Now I can actually put up an image. Okay, do you know that disappointment is an energy? Okay, whatever we feel, okay, I've shared in the past, right, that everything that was created in this world, right, is energy based. Okay, the matter that we have, the things that we see around us, are even physical things that you can hold in your hands, right? If you look deep into it, you know, in a macroscopic level, you will realize that it's just 99% energy rather than matter itself. So we have electrons, we have atoms that's vibrating in a certain frequency. So everything is energy. So likewise, the emotion like disappointment is also an energy. So today I want to share with you about this thing called low vibration or low frequency energy and a high frequency energy. Okay, low frequency energy are those negative feelings. Okay, things like worry, things like anger, things like disappointment, things like fear. All those are low vibrating or low frequency energy. Okay, that vibrates in a very slow frequency. Okay, and is all negative emotions that we are feeling. Okay, those are represented by this downward spiral chart over here. Okay, why we call it downward spiral is because every time you feel a negative emotion, okay, if left unchecked, right, it will always spiral downward. Okay, you can see the downward spiral picture there. Okay, it has disappointment as point number 12, right? So after somebody who feels disappointed, right, sometimes get the feeling gets spiral downward. Okay, to doubt, to worry, maybe discouragement, anger, and then you end up having this constant feeling of fear that we have. Okay, which is right at the bottom. Okay, so negative feeling is left unchecked, right, can spiral down to even lower frequency energy. Okay, in the same way, on the opposite spectrum, right, is the upward spiral, which is the positive energy that we may that we may feel. So these are the high frequency energy. Okay, such feelings are feeling of joy, feeling of passion, feeling of enthusiasm, optimism, hopefulness, contentment. So those are all high frequency emotions, high frequency energies, right? So sometimes when you have something positive, right, then more you can spiral upward, okay, to more positive emotions as well. So this, okay, maybe this is not the best chart to put. Okay, maybe a better chart is to put it in the same spectrum. Okay, you see the cone here, right at the bottom of the cone are the negative energy, which is the low frequency energies, right? Low frequency emotions. Okay, like over here you see shame right at the bottom. When you go further up is guilt, apathy, grief, right? Fear, desire, anger. What's this? Pride. Okay, and then it turns positive. Okay, as you go further up, then it becomes courage. Okay, and then neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, and then it gets higher and higher frequency vibration, okay, to joy, peace, and then enlightenment right at the top. Okay, so this chart just tells us, right, we have a whole range of emotions. Okay, and sometimes when we are in the negative side of the emotion, right, if left unchecked, it can spiral down. Okay, and that's why it's important for us to learn to turn it around, okay, to a positive emotion, to a high frequency emotion, so that with that, right, it can spiral upward, to make us happier again. So it's important for us to learn how to handle. It's important for us to learn how to handle our disappointment. So the first step, really, don't do anything immediately. Okay, yesterday I shared with you, right, I did this podcast, and then at the end of the podcast, 1 hour later, I realized that the sound is not working. You know what I did? Instead of not doing anything immediately, right, I decided, okay, I got to remedy this, So immediately after I finished, right, I started another podcast, and I just go ahead, because I feel so disappointed, so hurt that how can I make such a mistake, So, and then I did another round, and guess what? At the end of the second hour, right, I realized I didn't even record anything. Okay, whereas the first time I have the video, but I don't have the audio. Second time I didn't even record anything at all. So I made a mistake, upon the first mistake that I made. Okay, disappointed, I make a mistake. So instead, what I could have done is that, okay, don't do anything immediately. Okay, maybe rest for a while first, and then come up with a better solution. So my better solution is to broadcast again today, okay, which is the Wednesday. And thank you for being here. So number one, don't do anything immediately. Okay, rest. So number two, then what do you have to do? Okay, after you're calmer, right? Then the important thing is to go to a secret place and learn to step into meditation. Okay, go into a secret place and step into meditation. So when I say a secret place, I mean just a special place that you can be calm. It may be your room, it may be a secret place, outside your house, okay, a park, the mountains, the beach, wherever you stay in. Just a secret place that only you know will give you that tranquility and the peace, okay, that you needed, okay, in order to refresh yourself, to think, to reflect, okay. So in your secret place, learn to step into meditation. I taught you in one of the videos, okay, about how to start your morning routine, and the steps, to meditate, to pray, and to contemplate. So I remember there's one step, R, which stands for review, okay. So you need to go to a secret place to step into meditation is because you need to review the situation. So you need to review why you're feeling disappointed, okay. You need to address the truth about that situation, okay. And I think it's important for us to be able to step back and reflect on bad things that happen, okay, negative feelings that we may have, so that we know how to turn it around into something positive, okay, which is my third point, okay. Moving to then you're gonna know that there's a lot to learn from disappointment, okay. Disappointment comes into your life, okay, to teach us something. So disappointment is a teacher, okay. With that negative emotion, right, there is a lot of positive that can come out of it, okay. So you got to know that there's a lot of things to learn from disappointment. So I hope during your reflection, okay, you start asking good questions, okay, about number one, why am I feeling disappointed, okay. Sometimes it could be the expectations that you put upon something or someone, okay. Why you are disappointed is because the expectation was not met, okay. Then you challenge yourself, you think about, so is my expectation reasonable? Is my expectation set too high, too low, okay, too unclear, okay, what it is. So whatever the outcome is, you get disappointed. So you got to challenge yourself, okay, is your expectation right? Okay, and that's very important. So sometimes we don't review the truth or the falsity of the situation, and then we ended up living our life unchanged, okay, by disappointment, by things that come our way. A lot of times people may advise you, when you feel disappointed, right, okay, don't worry about it, just go to sleep, okay, and then next morning when you wake up, you will forget about all your disappointment. But I don't recommend that, okay, but that's precisely sometimes how I deal with it also. So don't follow me, follow this way, which is, I think, a better way, okay, is to reflect upon the disappointment. So set your expectation higher, lower, or broader, or more narrow, okay, based on the outcome of that reflection. Sometimes that reflection gives you a truth of the situation that sometimes you may not see. Okay, maybe sometimes it's not just the expectation of the outcome that you have, okay, but it also could be a factor, right, that you never consider. Okay, so when you set up to do something, you have an expectation of somebody or a situation, and when it doesn't happen, right, it could be a factor that you didn't know about. Okay, maybe something happened. Okay, maybe the person that's supposed to respond to you, ended up getting caught with a situation that you did not expect. Okay, maybe you didn't have that information about that person, about what the person had to go through. So when they are caught up and they're not able to meet your expectations, then you won't be so disappointed. Okay, so you got to learn there may be factors that affects it, okay, that you did not know. Why this is important is because A part of my dream process, I shared with you, I think last week, okay, there is an element called E, which is engage the truth. A lot of times as dreamers, right, we forget that, we do not know everything. We forget sometimes that, sometimes when we are dreamers, we are so positive, right? We think that you have everything figured out, okay, it's just a matter of time to achieve your goal. But a lot of times we operate in old mindsets, expired mindsets, old way of seeing the world, right? But sometimes may not be truth, okay? It may be true at certain situation, but it's not true now, okay, for the situation that you are in. So a lot of times dreamers, we get so disappointed because we had falsity in our thinking, right? But we think that we are right, we think that there's nothing to learn, right? And then we hit a brick wall, and then we realize that, okay, maybe just bad luck, and I can try again. Not changing or not learning, okay, what is the falsity of that situation. So yes, engaging the truth, know that there's a lot to learn from disappointment is very important. Okay, what you learn from disappointment could be that door towards your dream. Okay, so you just need to open that door, okay, see what is in the disappointment, learn something, and step into your dream once again. So yeah, there's a lot to learn from your disappointment. So don't miss out, okay, when you feel that negative emotion, don't do anything immediately. Then later on, step into a secret place, okay, step into prayer, contemplation, meditation. And then after that, think about, okay, there's a lot to learn from this disappointment. What can I learn? Okay? How can I change? How can I see things differently? How can I repent and view the situation in the light of how God wants me to view it? Okay, so that's number 3. Okay, number 4, very, very important. And this could be something a little bit more profound, a little bit more, you may not even agree, okay, but bear with me and listen to me out, okay? So number 4 is about thinking nobody else cares, only God cares. Nobody else cares, only God cares. Okay, maybe when you first hear this, you realize that, Hong Taek, that's not true, okay? My spouse care, my wife care, my best friend care. What do you mean by nobody else care? Okay, what do you mean by people don't care? Okay, my parents care, my mom care, my dad care, my children care, okay, my teacher, believe in me, he cares, okay. Why I say that nobody else cares, and why we need to put ourselves in that frame of mind that nobody cares, nobody else cares, okay, only God cares. It's because, when you set your mind into thinking that nobody else cares, right, it is to let go of that expectation or any expectation you have of people that people will never be able to fulfill in your life constantly, okay? Wow, yes, your parents care, your teacher care, your spouse care, your best friend care, right? But they are not able to care all the time and according to the level that you expect them to be, okay? Sometimes people love you, right? But sometimes people are caught up with their own situation, right? They cannot attend to you. And then sometimes you get disappointed because people cannot attend to you as and when you need it, and at the level of intensity or the level of felt emotion, okay, that you need. So when you say that nobody cares, okay, you are just letting go of that expectation of what human beings cannot provide for you. So it's always very healthy to say that when you're faced with a disappointment, right, sometimes it may be related to a people, or you may not, it may be related to things, to always think that, hey, so what? Nobody cares anyway, right? Nobody else will care, okay? No, only human beings is able to be perfect towards you all the time, regardless of how loving your spouse is, how loving your teacher is, how loving your parents are. They will never be able to meet your expectation of love and care all the time and at the level that you expect them to be. Okay, they may be able to do it most of the time, but there will be a time that they will disappoint you. So it's good to draw that conclusion that, right, I don't need anything physical to care for me. Okay, I don't expect that. Okay, 100%. So nobody cares. Okay? Instead, what you can expect is from a spiritual, divine being, God Himself. Okay, the universe Himself, to say that He cares for me. God created all of us. We are His maker, and we are creations. Okay, He's the creator, we are creations. And when He made us, He designed us, He knew us even before we were born, we were in our mother's womb, right? He knew, if He knows us, right, He cares. And He cares, okay? So let go of physical expectations of what physical beings, human beings can care for us. Okay, let go of that so that you can embrace the spiritual love, okay, the perfect love, divine love that God can give to us. So, very important statement. Nobody else cares, but God cares. And that is that power of my optimism and a lot of people's optimism, okay, is to know that nobody gives a damn, okay, nobody gives a shit about your life, okay, but it doesn't matter. God does. God does. So let go of your expectation of your loved ones, okay. I know they love you. I know some of them, I know, really, really, really love you, okay, but never in the level that is enough, okay. For us, only God's love is enough. So, important statement. Okay, when I say that God cares, I also want to stress out one point. Okay, but God doesn't care about you the way that you think that, or the way that you want Him to care for you. Okay, so you probably want God to care for you, to say that, okay, when you are disappointed, right? Okay, He will stroke you and love you and accept everything, you know, that has happened to you, and say it's okay, Hong Tek, you know, go to sleep. Next day you wake up, you'll be a better person, okay? Or, you know, just giving you that tenderness, okay? But God doesn't just care like that, okay? Even though He can care like that, right? But God cares more in a situation where you're disappointed. You have sort of strayed away a little bit from being divine, being of knowing that you are a spiritual being. He cares for you, that He wants to draw you back to be connected with Him again. So when I talk about He wants you to be connected with Him again, I'm not talking about a transactional thing, you know, like, okay, He does something for you, you do something for Him, and He's out there, you are here. He's talking about being in one with you again, to be united with you again. It's the union, to be connected so tightly, okay, as if you, okay, are Him, He is you, okay? So that oneness is what He cares about, to call you back into that union with Him, okay? Divorcing or releasing all others, okay? But just embracing that you are one with the Spirit, you are one with God. And that's a very powerful thing. The reason why He cares so much about you, to want to draw you back in union with Him, is because He wants you to handle the disappointment and learn the truth of the falsity in that disappointment, right? So that you can experience what it's like to be a spiritual being facing challenges, right? And being able to overcome it because you are a spiritual being. So He cares for you, to draw you back to be connected to Him. And that is a very powerful thing. Nobody else cares, but only God cares. And when God cares, God says, come, come, come. Embrace me, hug me so tightly we become one again. Be connected to Him once again. So that's an important step in handling your disappointment, okay, is to know that God cares. And finally, okay, after the fourth point, the fifth point is about, then after that, right, to continue to dream again in all the 12 areas of your dream. Okay, after you have done that, right, continue to dream again. You know that you have overcome a disappointment. You have learned from it. You have come back to be connected to God again, more spiritual. You are more spiritual. You learn the truth of the falsity that causes the disappointment, right? And then you become one with God again. Then when you are one with God, you need to continue your journey of dreams. Okay, don't give up dreaming just because of disappointment. A lot of people just, they set out a dream, they get disappointed at the first encounter, right? Then they give up dreaming. They say that, oh, it's no point dreaming because dreams create disappointment. Okay, it's not true. Okay, it's true to a certain extent, right? Because you pursue a dream, you may get disappointed, right? But the joy of pursuing your dream far outweighs, the disappointment that will come. Okay, and then when you learn to handle disappointment, as how I teach you, right, you find that there's a lot more joy. Okay, as you move forward. Okay, 2 days ago I was with a mentee, and my mentee said, oh, so stressful, have to dream in 12 areas. Okay, so stressful, there's so many things to do, I got to do so many things, if I dream in 12 areas. And I share with him that it's not about that, really. Dreaming is a very simple thing. Okay? Dreaming is just having a vision and a courage to believe the best of yourself, okay, in the 12 areas. Okay, in the Bible, in the scripture, God tells us that He asks us to be perfect as He is perfect. Be perfect as God is perfect. You see, God as a being is perfect. Okay, He's a God that is perfect. If He has 12 areas, okay, maybe He has more than 12 areas, but if He has 12 areas, right, they are all the perfect level, the perfect dream, okay, of how a God is. It is, okay, the loving God, the successful God, the amazing God, the wealthy God, the ultimate, okay. So He is perfect in all 12 areas. Now, if you want to resonate, okay, or you want to move in that frequency of love, the high frequency vibration of consciousness, of love, of joy, okay, and be godlike, okay, why not pursue it? Okay, pursue the perfection of what being godlike really feels like, really is all about. So I encourage all of you to dream in 12 areas. It's an encouragement for you to be more godlike, to be more godly, okay, to experience how it feels to vibrate in high frequency, okay, in positivity, in love. God is love. So when you experience love, you experience God, and you are vibrating at the same level as Him, okay? So it's important for us to never give that up, to always have that dream in all 12 areas. Now, I know some of you feel that, okay, maybe I dream in one area, is that enough? I think it's okay if you can just dream in one area rather than no areas, right? Dream in one area, but it's always not complete. Okay, I know a lot of people who are spiritual people, religious people. See, let's say they pursue spirituality, just, okay, and then they don't care about their relationship, their marriage, their careers, or the other 11 areas of their life, and they just pursue on one. They will always hit a brick wall. They will always become more and more religious. And then when they become more and more religious, right, they may know so much about theology, about things that is relating to religion, right? They may know about God, right, but they'll never be able to experience God in totality because they neglect other parts of their life that is important for them to be a spiritual being. So never just excel in one and not pursue the rest. Businessmen pursue their wealth goal, okay, their success goals, right? They forgot to pursue their family goals, their fitness goal. So they may be very rich, very, very important outside the house, right? Once they come back home, right, they, from a hero outside, right, they become a zero at home. So pursuing one area is not good, okay? It's not healthy, and it's tougher, okay, than dreaming in all 12 areas. So if you do not know how to dream, please go back to my earlier episodes. I cannot remember which episode it is. Maybe I will leave a link, okay, in the description below. Okay, you can find my podcast talking to you about how to dream in 12 areas. So basically, yes, Old Human School Wisdom and Confessionals is about my journey in pursuing the 12 areas of my life, okay? I'm not active in all areas all the time, but I'm constantly pursuing them, okay? And I might go through some rotations as I go along, okay? And the last 2 years that I'm in Kuala Lumpur is actually pursuing my family goal, okay? I spend more time with my boy, just coming here to spend time with my mother as well. So it's a relationship goal, okay? And now, now that the stint is over, when I go back to Singapore, I may switch to pursuing my other goals and my other dreams as well. And for those of you who are following me, you also know that I'm also in my fitness goal, okay, physical fitness goal, physical fitness dream, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And I realize that when I'm successful, to be fit, to be healthy, right? It just rubs on to other areas. So when I grow in one area, it affects my growth in other areas as well. And it's always a good thing. So that's the reason why last point is to continue to dream in all your 12 areas. So I hope you, got that. Okay, so to summarize, how to handle disappointment. Number 1, don't do anything immediately. Number 2, go to your secret place and step into contemplation, into prayer. Number 3, there's a lot to learn from your disappointment. Number 4, nobody else cares, only God cares. Okay? And number 5 is continue to dream in all your 12 areas. So with that, I hope you enjoy my last podcast from this studio here in Damansara in Kuala Lumpur. I'm going to miss this place. So I see you next week in a new setup, okay? I also wanted to do some book review, but I realized that I will not have time. Anyway, I want to talk about this book that I showed you 2 podcasts ago called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I have read this many times, and this time when I read through it again, I realized there are so many important points for those who want to have for those who have an entrepreneurial dream. Okay, I told you about, okay, we sponsor a lot of children, we mentor a lot of kids from the developing countries, from third world countries, and we always encourage them. We always encourage them to study as high as possible. That's why we have a college, university bursary for them, right? So study as high as you can. But for those who cannot study, right, and you need to go onto an entrepreneurial journey, right, this is a good textbook. I realize that this is textbook for those of us, right, who wants to pursue an entrepreneurial dream. So with this textbook, maybe I can not do a review, but I will share some important chapters and how these important areas has helped me, okay, in my dream, in my entrepreneurial journey as well. Okay, when I started off 4 or 5 years ago. So that's the sort of the book review that I wanted to do. Okay, I have another book, but it's in my bag that I just bought. It's called The 50th Law, okay, by 50 Cent. Okay, the rapper. Okay, he's an entrepreneur as well, and he collaborated with a researcher, with an author called Robert Greene. Okay, excellent book for those who want to learn things that you don't learn in school. Again, it's about business, it's about being resilient, it's about being who you're meant to be. And we'll probably do that review another day as well. So with that, let's end this time, okay, again with a meditation. And today is very special because I learned how to put a music at the background. So as we meditate, right, please enjoy this background music that will help us step in a more effective way. So if you close your eyes, okay, I want you to focus on your breathing, okay? Inhale. Okay, maybe 4 counts, inhale. 2, 3, 4. And 4 counts, exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale again. Okay. And 4 counts, exhale. Okay, when you inhale and exhale, you can follow this mantra. Be still and know that I am God. When you inhale, God breathed His breath into you. He gave you life. Okay. I want you to follow the focus of your breath, okay, from your nostril down to your throat, okay, maybe all the way to your lung and right down to your stomach. Okay. When you exhale, I want you to exhale things that are not from you, of you. Okay. The disappointment, that hurt, that anger. Okay, I want you to exhale out. Okay, I want you to inhale again through your nostril down to your throat, your chest, and your stomach point. Okay. And then I want you to hold your focus in the middle of your stomach. Okay. Okay, I want you to focus on that point right in the middle of your stomach. Okay, I want you to imagine God's love for you there. Okay, I want you to think about how deep, how wide, how long, and how high is the love of God for you in that space. I want your focus to extend beyond that point and just go how wide, how deep, how long, how wide. So it fills the entire space around your stomach area. Okay, continue to inhale, exhale, focusing on your breath. And your breath now moves. Okay, the next inhale, it moves up to your chest. Okay, I want you to focus on the space around your chest area. Right in the middle of your body at that point. Okay, now I want you to focus on the love of God. How deep, how wide, how long, and how high is the love of God for you in that space in your body. Okay, I want you to feel God's love in that part of your body right now. To be from that dot, right? It expands and fills the entire space around your chest area. Let the love of God, the peace of God, expands through your entire being around that area. So when you exhale all worries, all fears, all things that are not for you out. Okay, when you inhale the breath of God. Okay, I want you to move the attention from your chest right up to your head. Okay, in the space around your head, okay, I want you to imagine the love of God. How deep, how wide, how long, and how high is the peace and the love of God for you in that space around your head. So from one point, I want you to expand that love, expand that warmth of His love and mercy and grace and peace to entire area around your skull, around your head. Okay, I want you to feel the love of God in the entire space there. So right now, the 3 points, okay, I want you to expand that love of God together. Feel your entire being. Feel the entire being. So when there's light, there's not going to be any evil. Okay? When the light comes, darkness will have to flee. So with yourself full of light right now. Okay, I want you to thank God. I want you to thank the Spirit. I want you to thank your Creator and your Maker. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, exhale. Okay, another deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Okay, you can slowly come back out. Okay, if you you want to continue to be in this attitude and this mode of meditation, contemplation or prayer, you can continue to do so. So I just want to say goodbye and thank you for tuning in. I hope next week I see you in that new studio back in Singapore. I hope I can set it up in time. So with that, yeah, I hope we get a new PM in Malaysia, and whatever it is, right, peace be with you. Thank you for joining me. So with that,